Next up, at UFC Vegas 73, we have Maheshate taking on Viacheslav Borshchev. Mahechate's 9-2 overall, 4-1 in his last 5 years, coming off that grappling loss, which I knew was going to happen. Made some money on that. To Rafa Garcia, he's taking on Viacheslav Borshchev, 6-3 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off back-to-back grappling losses, like fights, but he was just completely out-grappled. This is, I think, some of the, not the most line movement on the card, but the biggest flip we have had on this card. Maheshate opened at a -140 favorite. He is now a +135 underdog. He's very young at only 23 years old, but he does have a ton of composure. He likes to stay sort of composed. I hate using the same word twice like that, but he is a fun, creative striker. He can hang in a firefight or he can dance around, fight a technical kickboxing match. He does mix in sort of old school traditional martial arts as well as like new school flashy style techniques. If you stay in his face, you can have success. So he does a good job managing distance if he wants to. He can do a good job sort of brawling, but if you continue to push forward, you can hit him, you can touch him. He's coming off that loss to Rafa Garcia where he was taken down 6 times. He's taking on Viacheslav Borshchev. We talked about this guy a whole bunch. He's a very good striker. He's got a legitimate professional kickboxing career. Somebody, I forget who it was, and it's somebody who's here all the time, so you'll know who I'm talking about when you watch this, commented, I love when people overestimate Viacheslav's striking or some stupid shit like that. Dude was genuinely a professional kickboxer and was successful and is a... What are you doing? You about to sneeze? What the fuck? Yeah, there's... Jesus. You and the dog.
No, it's mold.
Well, that's what happens. You peanut butter jar.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I disagree. I do not think his striking is overrated. I think Viacheslav is a very, very good striker. He's got solid power, good jab, fantastic kicks. The problem is he's such a good striker that everybody knows it, and all they want to do is wrestle him, and they've had success wrestling him. You can take him down. You can control him. He's coming off back-to-back losses where he was taken down 9 times. 9 times. That's not great. Not great. But despite being taken down 9 times in his last fight, he continued to work back to his feet, continue to scramble up, continue to work hard, continue to try to make something happen. He was never truly out of that fight. He didn't quit on himself. Because of that, because of how he looked in that loss, I like him to win this fight. I think we can count on him to continue to grind, continue to work forward, continue to try to make something happen.
You said
The problem is, like, Maheshate is a striker, right? He's not this grappler. Well, so was Mark DeCasey. Mark DeCasey was his striker. The UFC put together Viacheslav and Mark DeCasey being like, okay, we're going to get a fun striking match. And then Mark DeCasey got 11 takedowns. Just completely transformed who he was as a person when he was fighting Viacheslav. So I still think Viacheslav's going to win. It's a sketchy bet. I'm not going to touch the money line because we know how you beat the dude. And we haven't seen that out of Maheshate yet, but it doesn't mean we won't. So Viacheslav will never truly be out of this fight or any other fight. He's a super tough guy. Last little stat here is Viacheslav managed to land 84 strikes while spending 8 minutes on his back. Think about that. 8 minutes in a 15-minute fight, he was on his back, taken down. He still landed 84 strikes. So I got to go with the guy who's never out of the fight, and he's more dangerous on his feet. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, they're making fun of you for your graphic. Yeah, I agree. Slava is the better striker. He is the better, more technical striker in this matchup. Sometimes that just does not matter because Maheshate is known for his power. The issue is his first UFC knockout was against Steve Garcia. We now know that every single person drops Steve Garcia. He just happened to get the finish in that fight. And then in his last fight, it almost looked like his right hand was like, it was very weird the way he was throwing that right hand. It looked like it had zero snap to it. And if he does not bring that right hand that he's known for with that power into his fight versus Slava, I don't think he really stands a chance because Slava will just pick him apart at range. And Slava is a guy that you can see he's constantly working. Angelo broke it down perfectly. Even when he's getting taken down, he is constantly working off his back. He's constantly trying to get back to his feet because that's where he wants to be. And we have to take in consideration, he is one of those team alpha male people. He is one of those team alpha. He's a striking coach at team alpha male. He is and we've seen lately how sharp every single person out of Team Alpha Male has come. Looking out, Song Yadong. We had was it fucking. You're not even gonna help, huh?
I don't know who you're trying to say.
I mean, who was the female that came out of Team Alpha Male like last week or 2 weeks ago that won that beat Andrade?
Poppins?
No, Shane Yan.
Yeah,
Shane
Yan.
Yan.
But also little Corey Poppins is from there too. Corey McKenna. Her striking looked good. But go ahead.
Well, then she hasn't fought in a while, but I was just talking recently, all the Team Alpha Male people, and Slava is one of those Team Alpha. I think he's going to be ready for this fight. I think he definitely is the better striker of the two, and Maheshate is always going to have that power, but he didn't have that power in his last fight, so I can't imagine he just finds it again in this fight versus a very technical striker in Slava.
So we're both on the same side, and as most people are, hence the line movement. From underdog to favorite here, but I'm not going to bet it because until we've seen I just love saying Viacheslav Borshchev. Until we've seen that, and he is American, Maheshate is a Brazilian. But until we've seen tried and true American Viacheslav Borshchev defend a bunch of takedowns or get past that, I can't be spending money just yet because it is a very easy game plan. And if you've got the cardio and decent takedowns, at least up until this point, you can take him down and get it done. So that makes DraftKings very interesting. And there's only 12 fights on this card, which makes all of this super tricky. What are you going to do anything with DraftKings in this fight?
Nah, it's too close. I mean, this is another one of those fights where, I mean, they're kind of the same type of fighter. They both want to strike. They should welcome the striking because, as you mentioned, they both can kind of get taken down in the last few fights. So we'll see how it plays out. It'll probably turn into Slava shooting takedowns. I mean, at this point.
It is crazy. And I don't know if you knew this, Jacob, but in New Zealand, they don't have what people call sarcasm. They're an island completely secluded from all sarcasm whatsoever. That sucks.